Welcome back, engineers. Are you ready to get Glebgendary? This is the third episode in a series of how to get legendary items. In the first one, we covered how to do the LDS shuffle to get most of our legendary materials. In the second episode, we covered how to get legendary modules. And today, we're going to cover the spoilable planet Gleba. How do we make our Gleba exports legendary? This will actually be a relatively shorter video today because there are only 3 products that we really care about. And that is the Bio Lab, the Stack Inserter, and Carbon Fiber. Now I want to preface that each method here is just the way that I am doing it. By no means am I suggesting that this is the perfect way of doing it and that there are no faults with the system. So with the preamble out of the way, let's begin. So we're going to start with the simplest process on Gleba for legendarification, and that is carbon fiber. Now carbon fiber is very simple. It takes 1 carbon and 10 Yamako mash, and is used in stack inserters, foundations, quantum processors, the portable fusion reactor, tool belt equipment, and your late game asteroid defense, rocket turrets, and railgun turrets, which are essential for long journeys towards the shattered planet. On Gleba, Yamako mash is made with Yamako fruit, and carbon is made by burning spoilage in a biochamber. And this is a very simple process where you may see something that doesn't quite look right. Why am I using speed modules on something that I'm using quality modules on? Well, I've done the math and can prove to you that this is actually a better setup if you think that items on Gleba are free and infinite. If you haven't by now realized that in Space Age all resources are infinite and free, then I don't know how to help you. These items quite literally grow on trees. There is nothing more free than that. Your rates may vary, but you will always have infinite of these. If you were to remove the speed beacons, you would get a quality of 24.8%, meaning that you would need 40 crafts to get a single legendary. And at a rate of 72 per minute, you would get around 1.7 legendaries per minute per machine. That sounds okay. Now, if we add back our beacons, we can see that our quality goes down to 7.1%. But our rate goes up to 867 per minute. With a chance of 0.0071 to get a legendary, meaning we need 140 items to get a legendary, we now have a rate of 6.15 legendary per minute out of every machine, which is 3.5 times better than with no speed beacons. That's why you need to think about everything on Gleba being free. Systems like this make a lot more sense when you realize that spoilage comes from literally everything and these fruits grow on trees. Nutrients is very easy to make as well, so don't worry about it. We're then obviously going to send all of the non-legendary products into recyclers with quality modules just to increase our rates. And with that, legendary carbon fiber is solved. And here's the proof of our beacons actually making this better. It is still a whole heck of a lot better. Plus using less legendary biochambers makes it easier to start up. So I would suggest using the beacons. You may as well. So what's next? Well, I reckon it's time to deal with the stack inserter. Legendary stack inserters are crazy good at saturating belts, but they require 2 products from Gleba: carbon fiber, which we've sorted, and jelly, which now we need to deal with. It's also going to take bulk inserters and processing units, but we can get those from our Vulcanus legendary base. So legendary jelly is just as simple as the legendary carbon fiber, if not more. Because jelly is such a fast crafting item, we don't even use speed beacons. We're going to use the 25% productivity plus, at this point, legendary biochambers, which we'll get to soon, to make as much legendary products as possible. Again, we just send it into a simple upcycler because unfortunately everything that we can make with jelly, except for the stack inserters, can't be recycled. And you could make a very convincing argument just to brute upcycle stack inserters to get legendary jelly and legendary carbon fiber, as well as some legendary stack inserters of course. But Gleba resources right here and right now are free, so there's no harm in just sending 90% of them into the bin. Because jelly spoils so fast, I think that it's worth immediately crafting it into stack inserters and just buffering those until you have too many, and then you can let the legendary jelly spoil into legendary spoilage, which you can then use for legendary efficiency 3 modules, which is also going to be the case for some other products coming up. But as you can see, with just 3 legendary items plus the jelly, we can get our legendary stack inserters. And this system is very easy to copy, and I will be providing a blueprint as well. So the final export that we want out of Gleba is going to be our legendary Biochambers. And Biochambers take iron plates, which we can get from our Vulcanus base, electric circuits, again from the Vulcanus base, nutrients, pentapod eggs, and landfill, which of course we can make from legendary stone from our legendary Vulcanus base. Now, legendary nutrients and legendary pentapod eggs are going to be a slight issue to set up, but once they get going, the actual use rates of these is very low, and legendary pentapod eggs can be recycled and remade. But how do we get legendary nutrients to actually recycle these? And it's going to be from legendary bioflux. So there are going to be 2 ways that we're going to be making legendary bioflux today. There's the simple way using less machines with a much lower rate than the more complicated way, which just requires a bit more infrastructure to set up, but once you get going, it actually makes a lot more. So because bioflux just requires Yamako mash and jelly, we just combine those 2 and then send it through a brute upcycler. And in 10 minutes, this gets us around 40, so approximately 4 a minute. It's an okay rate, but we probably want some more than that. Now we move down to a more complicated setting here, where we actually use quality modules in our fruit processors to make different qualities of fruit. Similar to what we did with our previous legendary jelly, we're all just going to send this through a quality splitter and make bioflux just based off the quality. Then we send it through some different recyclers. There are better ways of doing this, but effectively we're just quality upcycling as much as we can. And in 10 minutes, this gets us around 100. So that is 2.5 times the rate of the previous setting. But as you can see by its footprint here, it is a lot larger and takes a lot more machines. But if we remember that everything is free and infinite on Gleba, we may as well. And so that's legendary bioflux, which, if we can remember, has the best recipe for nutrient crafting, with 5 bioflux being turned into 40 nutrients. So that's how we're going to get our legendary nutrients for our biochambers and our egg breeding. So this little setup here is just how we're going to craft our legendary biochambers. We'll request legendary bioflux to make nutrients, send it into egg breeding and biochambers. We've also got spoilage outputs as well, and we just need to request landfill, electronic circuits, and plates. Now theoretically, we could brute force upcycle this, but quite frankly, that would be a waste when pentapod eggs are actually free. All we need is our legendary bioflux. And here we have what I like to do for my pentapod breeding. So because you need pentapod eggs to make more, I have a steel chest wired to a stack inserter that only outputs when pentapod eggs inside the chest are greater than 30. So if we were to start this process here and re-enable our nutrients, we would see that pentapod eggs will be buffered in this chest while running. And then once it goes over 30, the stack inserter activates, puts it onto the belt, sends it through an upcycler. This is how you will get your first legendary egg and how you will restart your processing. If you lose your legendary egg, you do just have to upcycle it again. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to get the eggs other than this. But this is a pretty simple way. So, congratulations, you now have a Glebgendary factory. You can now export your stack inserters, carbon fiber, and biochambers all across the solar system. So thank you for tuning in for the 3rd episode of our How to Be Legendary at Factorio. Work in progress title, of course. Next episode, we'll cover some of the other inner planets before moving out to Aquilo and beyond. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of these tutorials and other projects in the works. And if you like what you saw, let me know. I'm always looking for feedback. The best part about Factorio is its community. While one person might not know much, the entire community knows a collective huge amount about this game. So make sure to share your tips down in the comments below to help the rest of the community. With that all being said, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.